115 class. So a big welcome to all of you. We're genuinely excited to have you listening in.
That's great. Monroe University, they've built a really strong reputation, haven't they? Especially in IT.
They really have.
You hear about their students, how they stand out, lots of creativity, they're quick to pick up innovative tools, and they focus on real-world projects. So this topic, spreadsheets in business, feels like a perfect fit.
Absolutely. And IT 115 students, just so you know, this deep dive does have info that's specifically relevant for your discussion assignment this week.
Kind of like bonus material.
Exactly, to go along with what you're already learning. But quick reminder before you start your activity for the week, definitely make sure you've reviewed your lecture notes and course materials first.
Yeah, good point. This will make a lot more sense, be more useful, if you've got that foundation already.
Right. We're not replacing your course, just adding maybe another layer based on the sources provided.
Right.
And for you, the IT 115 students, you'll want to pay close attention. We've actually woven 4 specific instructions, let's call them clues, kind of naturally into our conversation.
Ah, okay. Hidden instructions.
Sort of. They're for your discussion assignment, so you'll need to listen carefully to catch all 4 steps you need to do this week.
So no big slashing signs then?
Nope, just part of the chat. So regular listeners, bear with us as we mix this special info in, but honestly, what we're covering today is relevant for pretty much anyone who deals with data.
Which is almost everyone in the professional world now, right?
Pretty much. So, okay, let's start with the basics. Why? Why do businesses lean so heavily on spreadsheets? What's the core problem they solve?
Well, businesses are just drowning in data, aren't they?
Totally.
Spreadsheets give you a really powerful and flexible way to take all that raw data, numbers, text, you name it, and organize it. Put some structure around it so you can actually make sense of it.
It's about structure, right. And once it's structured,
then you can analyze it. Track sales over time, break down expenses, model different what-if scenarios for finance, maybe forecast future trends based on what happened before.
That analysis part is key, yeah. Understanding where you are, where you might be going.
And then, and this is crucial for communicating, you can visualize it. Turn those walls of numbers into charts, graphs, things that show trends and performance at a glance, all in one spot.
Right. Whether you're using Microsoft Excel or Google Sheets, those are the big 2, really.
Yeah, those capabilities are fundamental in both. The big benefit, it really comes down to efficiency and, well, effectiveness.
How so?
They save just tons of time compared to doing things manually. They slash calculation errors because, formulas are reliable. And they let you make decisions based on actual data.
Which is always going to be smarter and faster than just guessing, right?
Always. It's like having a super calculator, a dynamic reporting tool, and kind of a shared workspace all rolled into one package.
A powerful package. And within that, there are these specific functions that businesses often need almost right away. The sources mention the PMT function.
Ah, yeah, PMT. Sounds a bit technical, maybe.
A little.
But it's incredibly useful if a business takes out a loan, which happens all the time, right? For equipment, expansion.
Sure, or even just covering a slow period.
Exactly. This function, PMT, it calculates your loan payment, assuming, constant payments and a constant interest rate.
So it tells you what your monthly payment will be on that loan for the new van or the line of credit you took out.
Precisely. It gives you that number reliably. The basic formula structure is something like PMT, rate, ND fee, PV.
Okay, so rate, ND per PV, what are those?
Right. Rate is the interest rate for each period. Like if it's an annual rate but you pay monthly, you divide by 12. ND per is the total number of payments for the loan. And PV is the present value, basically the loan amount itself.
Gotcha. And why is that so important for a business?
Oh, because cash flow is everything.
King, as they say.
Absolutely. Knowing that fixed loan payment amount helps businesses budget accurately, manage their cash flow month to month, and just avoid nasty surprises. Essential for financial planning, for stability.
Makes sense. Think about those businesses just starting out. Maybe someone fresh out of college.
Yeah, like a freelance web developer, or someone running an Etsy shop selling crafts, or maybe a small local consulting gig.
Right. Even those small operations, they need to track their income, their expenses, and maybe compare how they're doing over time.
Oh, definitely. How did my freelance income this quarter stack up against last quarter? Is my little online store selling more this year than last year?
Exactly. That year-over-year comparison is just critical for seeing if your small business is actually healthy and growing.
Which brings us neatly to the first piece of your assignment, Monroe University IT 115 students.
All right, IT 115 folks, listen up. This is your first clue. Let's say you are running a small business and you want to compare revenue, maybe last year to this year. Just create a Google Sheet in your Drive. Then enter at least 4 rows and 2 columns of some made-up revenue data. And use a simple formula to show the difference.
Yeah, so for example, your rows could be different services or products like website design fees, monthly retainers, plugin sales, maybe training sessions.
Okay.
And your columns could just be revenue year 1 and revenue year 2. Then, in a third column, a simple formula like C2B2, assuming year 2 is column C and year 1 is B, that calculates the difference for that row.
Right. And comparing that year over year, it's just fundamental. Are things improving, getting worse, staying the same? It shows the health and growth trend. So that's step 1, IT 115 students. Remember, there are 4 specific things you need to do this week.
Okay, so beyond just, crunching the numbers in the cells, spreadsheets are amazing for communicating what those numbers actually mean.
And that's where visualization comes in, right? Turning those tables into charts.
Exactly. Charts are essential. They reveal patterns, trends, maybe outliers, things you just can't easily spot staring at a grid of numbers.
Turns data into insight fast.
Precisely. The sources walk through several key chart types that you see all the time in business. Should we look at how they apply?
Yeah, let's do that. First up, the embedded pie chart.
Right. Embedded means it's placed right there on your worksheet next to the data maybe.
And pie charts are great for
showing proportions, how different parts make up a whole. Think about, where is every dollar of your marketing budget going?
Yeah.
Or what percentage of total sales comes from each region?
Okay, makes sense. Parts of a whole.
But to make that pie chart work well, applying styles is important.
How so?
Choosing good colors, clear fonts, maybe a clean theme, making it look professional, especially if you're going to show it to someone. Investors, clients, your boss.
Presentation definitely matters. And adding data labels, those little numbers on the slices.
Oh, essential for readability. You see the value or the percentage right there, no guesswork.
Right. You don't have to keep looking back and forth to a legend,
Although formatting that legend clearly is also important, so people know what each color or slice represents without getting confused.
Good point. Okay, moving on from pies. Column charts. There's the clustered column chart.
Yeah, clustered is where the bars for different series are side by side.
Yeah.
Great for direct comparisons across categories.
Like comparing monthly sales for product A versus product B, or maybe comparing Q1 performance this year versus last year for a few key metrics.
Exactly that kind of thing. Side-by-side comparison.
Then there's the stacked column chart. Bars are still there, but the segments are piled on top of each other.
Right. This one's excellent when you want to show the total value, but also see the contribution of each part to that total.
So like total company revenue shown as one bar, but stacked to show how much came from North America, Europe, Asia.
Perfect example. Or maybe the total cost of making a product, stacked to show material costs, labor costs, overhead. Shows the total and the breakdown.
Got it. Now, for showing changes over time, the line chart is king, right?
Definitely the standard. Tracking sales trends across quarters, seeing website visits month by month, maybe inventory levels week to week.
That line makes it really easy to spot if things are trending up, down, or staying flat. Seasonality, too, sometimes.
Absolutely. And sometimes you need to show 2 different kinds of data on one chart. Maybe they even use different scales.
Ah, that's the combination.
That's the one. A classic example is showing total sales revenue, maybe using bars, and the profit margin percentage using a line on the same chart.
Okay, so you see the volume of sales and how profitable those sales are together.
Exactly. See how they relate.
And you mentioned formatting. Things like chart titles, axis labels, seems small, but
Huge difference in clarity. You got to tailor those elements so the chart tells the story you want it to tell clearly and quickly for whoever's looking at it.
makes sense. And what if the underlying data changes? Do you have to remake the chart?
Oh, no. That's the beauty of it. You could just modify the data source that the chart is linked to.
How?
Usually just right-click the chart, find an option like Select Data or Change Data Source, adjust the range of cells it's looking at, and bam, the chart updates.
Essential for dashboards or reports that need to stay current.
Totally. Now, the sources also mentioned a couple of slightly more specialized charts, histograms and Pareto charts. Heard of those?
Histograms, vaguely, distributions.
Yeah, a histogram groups numbers into ranges or bins and then shows how many data points fall into each bin. Helps you see the shape of your data's distribution. more statistical.
Okay. And Pareto sounds like the 80-20 rule guy.
Exactly. A
Hmm.
Pareto chart is often used in quality control. It sorts the causes of problems by how often they occur, usually from highest to lowest frequency, shown as bars. Then it often adds a line showing the cumulative percentage.
So it helps you focus.
Precisely. It visualizes the 80-20 principle often, like 80% of the problems come from 20% of the causes. So the Pareto chart shows you which few causes are responsible for most of the issues so you can prioritize fixing those first. Big impact for effort.
Smart. And what about visualizing data inside the spreadsheet cells themselves? Spark lines and data bars.
Yeah, cool little tools. Spark lines are basically tiny charts line, column, or win-loss that fit inside a single cell,
So right next to the number.
right next to it. Gives you a quick visual trend summary without taking up much space. Great for dashboards where you want a quick glance at performance over time for many items.
Neat. And data bars.
Data bars fill the background of a cell with a colored bar, and the length of the bar is proportional to the cell's value compared to other selected cells.
Oh, like an inline bar chart right in the cell.
Kinda, yeah. You can just scan down a column of numbers, say sales figures, and instantly see the high and low values just based on the length of those bars. Makes the table much more visual, easier to scan quickly.
Wow. Okay, so all these calculation tools, all these visualization options, that's what makes spreadsheets so incredibly versatile for business.
For sure. And increasingly, that business involves working with other people, right?
Absolutely. Collaboration is huge now. Spreadsheets aren't just for one person working alone anymore.
No way. Managing a shared project budget, having different team members input their weekly numbers, coordinating info across departments.
Collaboration is key. And Google Sheets, you mentioned, really shone here early on.
Yeah, they were kind of pioneers with that real-time multi-user editing, letting multiple people be in the same sheet, making changes, seeing each other's cursors. That
Yeah.
was a big deal.
Which actually ties in nicely with the next instruction for our Monroe University IT 115 students.
Ah, clue number 2 time.
That's right. Okay, IT 115 students, here's your second clue. Remember that Google Sheet you're creating for the revenue comparison. Make sure when you share the link for that exercise, you give editing access.
Important step.
Very. Then, as part of your discussion post this week, write a quick note comparing Google Sheets versus Microsoft Excel. Just focus on, say, one thing Sheets does better specifically for teamwork, and one thing where Excel still kind of owns it or is maybe stronger.
Interesting comparison. And where did they put that note?
Good question. Post that comparison note directly in your discussion forum this week, along with the link to your Google Sheet. That's step 2 of the 4 specific things for your assignment.
Got it. And thinking about collaboration, sharing that sheet, you're often not starting from a blank slate, are you?
Oh, definitely not. You inherit spreadsheets,
Yeah.
you jump into projects where someone else set things up. Being able to understand and contribute to other people's spreadsheets is a really important real-world skill.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
You need to be able to decipher what someone else did and maybe even make it better.
Which leads us right into clue number 3 for the IT 115 students.
Okay, clue 3. Let's hear it.
All right, IT 115 listeners, here's your third clue. If you are doing this assignment exercise with others in your class, maybe you're sharing links in the forum, check out someone else's spreadsheet that they've shared
Okay.
and add a small improvement. Could be anything helpful, maybe making the formatting clearer, suggesting or even adding a more efficient formula, perhaps adding a data validation rule. Something constructive.
Ah, like a peer review, but hands-on.
Exactly. And then this is key. Make sure you let them know what you did, maybe in a comment in the sheet or back in the forum, and why you made that change. Explain the benefit.
That's great practice because in a job, you'll constantly be working on shared files, being able to read someone's logic, make a helpful tweak, and then clearly communicate why that's super valuable.
Totally. Look for ways to make their sheet clearer, more robust, maybe easier for the next person who uses it. So that's step 3 of 4.
All right, so we've covered the basics, the core uses, charts, collaboration. But spreadsheets, they have some really surprising depth, some fascinating history and capabilities that might just change how you think about them.
Ooh, okay. Let's dig into some of those surprising facts from the sources. What's first?
First up, just the sheer scale of a modern Excel sheet. We're talking over 17 billion cells on a single worksheet.
Hold on. 17 billion with a B.
Billion with a B, yeah.
Mhm.
It's 1,048,576 rows deep and 16,384 columns wide.
Wow. That's huge.
It's immense. The sources point out, just for perspective, you could theoretically track data for every single person on Earth across more than 2,000 different categories on just one sheet.
That really puts the capacity into perspective. Okay, what else?
Well, sticking with connecting to the world, Google Sheets has this really cool ability to pull in live data directly from the web.
Live data. How?
Using built-in functions. There's Google Finance for grabbing like real-time or historical stock prices. And then there are functions like import TML or import data.
What do they do?
Import TML can pull data directly from tables or lists it finds on a web page. Import data can grab data from, say, a published CSV file online.
So you could build like a dashboard in your Google Sheet that automatically updates with livestock info or maybe stats from a public website
Yeah.
without needing to write complex code.
Exactly. It's incredibly powerful for tracking dynamic information right there in your sheet.
That's pretty amazing. Okay, fact 3.
Historical impact. The very first widely successful spreadsheet program. It was called VisiCalc. Came out in 1979. It was a genuine killer app.
Killer app, like software that makes people buy the hardware.
Precisely that. Back in the early days of personal computers, VisiCalc was so revolutionary, so useful for business accounting, for financial planning, that people literally went out and bought Apple II computers just so they could run VisiCalc.
Wow, so a spreadsheet program actually helped launch the entire personal computer industry.
It's widely credited with doing just that, driving those early PC sales significantly. That's how big an impact the spreadsheet concept had right from the start.
That's a serious legacy. Okay, what's next? Back to capabilities.
Yeah, back inside Excel, there's a built-in tool called Solver.
Solver. Sounds powerful.
It is. It goes way beyond basic math. Solver can handle complex equations, and it performs optimization tasks. Think like calculus-level optimization, meaning it can find the best possible solution to a problem, given certain constraints you define. Things like, how do we minimize our manufacturing costs while still meeting our production targets? Or how do we maximize profit, given we only have so much machine time or raw materials?
Whoa! So it finds the optimal answer.
Within the constraints you give it, yes. It's used in serious fields like operations research, logistics planning, complex financial modeling, all happening right inside Excel.
That's some heavy-duty analysis power hidden in there. Okay, fact 5.
Thinking about taking spreadsheet data and doing even more, there are tools now that can actually turn your spreadsheet into a real application.
Wait, turn a Google Sheet or an Excel file into like a web app or a mobile app?
Yeah. Tools like Glide or AppSheet, which Google actually owns now, or Spreadsheet.com, they let you use your spreadsheet essentially as the database.
And build on top of it.
Exactly. Build functional apps. Maybe create custom forms for data collection that feed right into your sheet. Build interactive dashboards for your team. Or even create simple business tools for specific workflows, all without needing traditional coding.
That unlocks a whole new level of utility from just a spreadsheet. Incredible. Okay, fact 6. Anything quirky.
How about hidden games?
Hidden games.
Yeah.
In Excel.
Yep. In older versions, these things called Easter eggs were kind of common. Excel 97 famously had a hidden, fully functional 3D flight simulator built into it.
You're kidding. A flight simulator. How?
You had to follow a really specific, obscure sequence of steps and clicks to unlock it.
Why would they even do that?
Just developers having a bit of fun, leaving their mark. They were removed in newer versions, mostly for security reasons and professionalism, but it's a fun bit of tech history. Shows how software used to be a bit quirkier.
Definitely quirky. Okay, one more fact. Number 7.
Let's bring it back to collaboration. We
Yeah.
mentioned Google Sheets pioneering real-time editing.
Yeah, letting multiple people live in the same file.
Well, it's worth highlighting just how revolutionary that was at the time. Before that feature became common, collaborating on a spreadsheet or even a Word document was often a nightmare.
Oh, I remember emailing files back and forth.
Exactly. Trying to merge changes, figuring out which version was the actual final one.
Yeah.
Remember those file names? Final report V7, John's edits final lose, this unev2.xlsx.
Oh, yes. Total chaos.
Google Sheets offering smooth, multi-user live editing way before Microsoft Office had it robustly, fundamentally changed how teams could work together on data. It made things so much more efficient, so much less frustrating.
A huge leap forward for teamwork. Okay, that's a great list of facts. Some really surprising stuff in there.
Definitely shows there's more to spreadsheets than meets the eye.
Absolutely. All right, Monroe University IT 115 students, we've covered a lot. Basics, charts, collaboration, history, some pretty wild capabilities.
Ready for the last clue.
Here it is. Your fourth and final clue for your assignment this week, IT 115 students. Just pick one of those interesting facts we just discussed about spreadsheets.
Could be about Excel's size, Google Sheets, pulling web data, VisiCalc's history, Solver, turning sheets into apps, the Easter eggs, the live editing.
Right. Pick one thing that maybe you didn't know before this deep dive, something you found interesting, and just add that fact to your discussion forum posts this week.
Where should they put it?
You could maybe include it with that short comparison write-up you're doing for Clue 2. If that works for your post structure, just make sure it's in there. And that's it.
The fourth step.
The fourth and final step. All 4 specific steps you need to complete for your discussion assignment this week are now out there.
We really hope those clues were clear and helpful for putting your assignment together.
So wrapping this up, what's the big takeaway? Spreadsheets. They're way more than just, tables and basic math.
Oh, much more. There's sophisticated tools for analysis, really powerful engines for visualization, platforms for real-time teamwork.
There's significant pieces of computing history, and even foundations for building actual applications now.
Their versatility is just incredible. Makes them absolutely indispensable for pretty much anyone working with data. Doesn't matter the field or the business size.
It really does. And to the Monroe University IT 115 students, thank you again sincerely for joining us for this special edition deep dive. We really wish you the best with your assignment this week.
Yeah, good luck. Go forth and use those spreadsheet powers.
And for everyone listening, thinking about the history, the hidden power inside what looks like just a simple grid of cells, it kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it?
Wonder what?
What other mundane tools that we use every day might be just waiting to reveal their full potential if we only took a deeper look?
That's a good question to ponder.
Indeed.